It's been a while. Welcome back to We Are Stardust, One Player, 10 Questions, 10 Answers, episode number 34, featuring the infamous Funcracker, the founder of the wiki, the guild leader of AEPHIA. So many things to tell about you. Thank you. Thank you for taking
Infamous
time.
nicely captures it. Yeah. Thanks for inviting me, man. I love to be here, and yeah.
It's been a while, like been busy, and I'm a mod now, and I take my job very serious, and like I do everything I can for Stardust, but it's like, too much going on, and sometimes I don't feel like making videos, and I saw your video with the Metaverse Explorer. I'm a big fan, of Metaverse Explorer, and like
We are all
pretty
yes,
cool.
big fans.
And I really envy him, he has the determination, and he's making these videos every day, and like it's nice, and I hope he succeeds and gets a really big streamer and everything works out for him. It's really cool, like, and especially this
Yeah, he really from the get-go wants to get into this, and I think he's one of the biggest, if not the biggest streamer at the moment for ATLASP. So
for sure,
that's pretty cool. But I mean, he's not a moderator like you, right? So priorities.
Yeah, it's like usually I got hired for the weekend, but maybe I can do more than that. And I love the Discord. The Discord is how it all started for me, even with Stardust TV. So I try to do my best over there, and then maybe there's less content on YouTube, but soon, or at least when we get the showroom and Scream, then I hope I can do a lot of live streams and stuff like that on Twitch, and enough talk. I think we jump
Let's go.
First question. If you want, you don't need to answer anything, but if you want to tell us, I'm always interested about the age. Recently I made Spotify thing because somebody wanted the Spotify from the town halls, and then I watched the statistics, and it was like 100% male, which is shit. We need women in Stardust, and then it was like 28 to 35, 50%, and 35 to 45, 50%. So there is no kids. It's only older guys like us, it's kind of funny. And I guess it changes when we get a game, then all the younger next generations come in. But right now,
I hope so, for sure.
It's a lot of old people here, old gamers, old sci-fi
fans. Old.
Yeah, not too old. You look very young, so...
Yeah, no, okay. Thanks. No, but I mean, I have no issue with answering those questions. I'm an open book. So I'm 41 years old of age, and I am from the Netherlands, from a city called Utrecht, which is in the smack middle of the country. I have a girlfriend in Austria, however, for the last 5 years.
Ooh.
So I also spent a lot of time in Vienna, in Wien.
Nice. You should meet up with the Shaddix.
I'm aware. Yeah, we tried to do so, but he is most of the time not in Vienna. So, but we will definitely make that happen once. I'm not always. He's not always. So once, yeah.
It's a really, really beautiful city, right? Like Vienna.
I love Vienna. I always feel like a tourist when I'm there, even though I've been there quite often by now. I mean, my girlfriend actually moved through Austria, so only for the last, I think, 2 years she is in Vienna now. But yeah.
Oh, do you have AEPHIA merch already? I never saw that.
Well, yes. I mean, I had this made because I wanted to have something, but we're actually still working on the merch. It should hopefully be coming very, very soon. So hopefully, let's say next week. But let's see how quick we can get.
4 to 6. 4 to 6.
Yeah, let's say 4 to 6. Let's say 4 to 6.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Next question. How did you get into crypto? Like, how did it start? Like Bitcoin, Ethereum mining? How
so that's interesting, right? Because as you mentioned, there's many people who are older, so many people who joined more from a crypto perspective and not the younger gamers. But I am actually a gamer, and I'm not so much into crypto, or at least I was not so much into crypto. So I think I work in the IT business. I'm an IT developer. So nice. I got acquainted with crypto pretty early on, but I looked into it, I'm talking about years ago, and I realized that either I would have to put in a ton of time to understand what I'm doing, because I don't come from a finance background, or I would just be basically gambling. and I didn't like. I mean, some people would argue it's always gambling, but that's a different topic. But so I basically just ignored it. I was like, okay, yeah, I can put money in. I have not a faintest clue what I'm doing. And I always like with games, I like to know everything, the nitty gritty to the finest details before I take action. And that is why I didn't really get into crypto until I think early last year, when I read an article on The Verge about Axie Infinity. And being a gamer, that really, well, literally actually rocked my world. I mean, it actually changed the trajectory of my at least the immediate future after. Because the first time I read about a game you could play and earn and own and trade and all legally, all for real money without any hassle in a secure way. I mean, that was just mind-blowing stuff. So I looked into Axie Infinity, and again, since I look to the finest minutiae, I checked recordings, broadcast, paper, articles, whatever you could find, to understand which Axies I should buy. But then the Axies were so expensive that I figured, I don't know, let's look further. And then I checked several other games, and I at some point met On-Chain Gamer and Kagi. I mean, met them. I got acquainted with their videos. And through them, I found some other gems, and at some point, ATLASP. But I think I might be running ahead of myself because I know there's a question coming up later.
Oh, yeah, about very interesting. So yeah, I'm also a little bit in the software development and stuff. Like I studied for some time, and I worked for a company doing some Java stuff. And I remember around 2010, 11 or something, I downloaded a miner for my GeForce graphics card, and it was all console, and I couldn't get it to run, and then fuck Bitcoin, and it's bullshit. And then I was like ignoring it for many years, like till like 2 or 3 years ago when I started mining. But yeah.
Yeah, I understand. No, I've heard plenty of those stories are in my surroundings, and some people. I don't think I actually ever had met anybody in my closer surroundings who actually got rich, let's say. So yeah.
I know a few guys like who got rich, so I'm a little bit sad. But on the other side, it's never too late. Like we will get our chance. So
yeah, I agree. I like your shirt, by the way. I have the same here.
Oh,
I didn't think of wearing it. I didn't think of wearing it today.
Like my postman, like he hates me now because every morning, like at 9 or 10, when he's coming like to my house, and I was waiting for him. You have a package for me. I'm awaiting a package from America. Where's my package? And like he got really upset, and but finally I got it. Like so,
you got it, mate. Awesome. Yeah. That's cool.
Thanks to Santi and everybody, or I don't know who was in charge. Stick, I think Stick.
I think Dominic and Stick. Yeah.
Thanks. So yeah, you a gamer? It's also very nice. I love gaming. Like I'm a gamer since forever. And so, what was the first computer game you ever played, and what's your all-time favorite game?
Oh, we have a hiccup. Is it me or is it you?
Should be you.
Okay, we're back.
Fine. Yeah,
we're back. Okay, cool. No, so I had pretty conservative parents. I mean, so it took a long time before we got a PC in the house, and even longer before I was allowed to install games that I got from my friends, because viruses and whatever, right? It was dangerous and scary. So I think at my friends' homes. I think the very first was probably on a Nintendo Entertainment System. So this was like, I don't know, Super Mario, Duck Hunt. And I always forget the name, some Michael Jackson game where you could dance and all the enemies would fall.
Moonwalker, I think Moonwalker or something.
I think so, yeah. I love that game a lot. I like it a lot. Cool. I think those were really the first. And then I had also from friends with PCs, so I probably played like a Test Drive, I think, one of those racing games.
Test Drive and Test Drive.
And you had some plane, something with an X, not X-wing, but something Retaliator. I can't really remember some plane game. And at some point, of course, when I did finally got a chance to play games on the PC my own parents had, I played Golden Axe, Prince of Persia, SimCity. And things like Commander Keen. I mean, right? This is like the 386 era. So this
those
this
games
was basically what you could
do. You have no, it's okay.
Okay, yeah, there's some lag I noticed. I'm not sure why, but yeah.
It's
but anyway,
probably
at some
my
point,
connection or something.
No, it could be my. I don't
Don't
know.
worry, don't worry, don't worry.
At some point, I bought my own with my own savings. Is in the US console, and I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for ages, and a whole range of other games. I mean, I played a whole ton of things, to be honest. Yeah. So I mean, first game, very difficult to say. I can't really remember. I probably guess Super Mario.
And all-time favorite?
Yeah. So I spent by far the most time. I see my connection. Yeah, okay. So I spent by far the most time in World of Warcraft. So I kind of have to say that's my all-time. I am also a super big RPG guy. So I also played. I think Planescape Torment deserves. Oh, am I still here? Not really. Should we do the question again, or?
No. Yeah.
No, we can just.
Yeah, I cut it out. So all-time favorite game.
Yeah, all-time. It made me prolonged my study quite a bit. So I have to admit that is probably one of my favorite games. I also really big into RPGs. Planescape Torment definitely deserves mention here. But I really like a wide range of games. I mean, Civilization, strategy games, first-person shooters like Quake, Doom, Counter-Strike, of course. Yeah, but I yeah.
Yeah, since you the leader of AEPHIA, you had clans before, or you played for your own, or you already had like something?
No. I led a bunch of guilds in World of Warcraft. Though I have to, I will readily admit, that was not so much a die-hard, hardcore raiding guild. It was also more from an RP perspective. So we had a whole bunch of people in there who liked to be more. It was a role-play server as well. So we actually collaborated with other role-play guilds and to do our raids, which is very interesting. And I like a bit of the diplomacy that goes on behind that. And of course, yeah, have a good time, and I love that. And I also played a whole bunch of mobile games where I also had guilds or whatever they were called in the various games, but. I always had an idea to set something up myself and make sure that we would get some renown and that our members would be having a good time, and no matter which platform.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Am I still here, or how is it from your end? Because I see myself lagging like crazy, but I'm not sure how it's on your end.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. I just was thinking about like you so many guild like for myself. I had like some Counter-Strike clans and stuff, and then I always had my little group of friends, but I never been in a big guild or anything. So it's kind of interesting. And also, I've never been into mobile gaming. What games did you play on mobile?
Galaxy at War, Lords and Knights, Empires and Puzzles. I think it was the last.
Never heard
I think
of that.
at a guild. Yeah, no, I can. So Lords and Knights was, I think, one of the funnest ones because it was one of those 24-hour always on, where if you would be attacked in the middle of the night, you would just lose your castles. Nice. It was I actually put my alarm clock at crazy times during the night just to make sure I could either initiate an attack or defend. Or it was really crazy stuff. And at some point, I also quit doing that because it just took too much of my time. My girlfriend didn't like it that much at the time either. So yeah, quit that game. But yeah.
And any space games like with guilds, like EVE Online?
Galaxy at Galaxy at War is a space game. I mean, it's also very simplistic, a little bit like Lords and Knights, where you have to just claim territory and attack and defend, and it's like an MMO, but it's very simplified. I play plenty of sci-fi games, as I'm a huge sci-fi fan, but I never had my own guild. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic after I quit World of Warcraft, but not to the extent. It didn't really draw me in, though I love Star Wars, but it somehow, and I love the Old Republic. I really like, but I should have mentioned those as favorite games as well, because the Old Republic games, or Knights of the Old Republic games, are really, really awesome. But no, never got to, I mean, it's not necessarily a goal that I have to have a guild everywhere. It just sometimes happens,
but AEPHIA is one of like the biggest in ATLASP, and it's really well organized and content.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because it was not my intent at all to start a guild there. I mean, I have just less time right now, right? I mean, we're all older, working, girlfriend, whatever. So it was not really a consideration until at some point, and we'll go super deep into that. A few things I noticed, and I got into contact with Prometheus, and we figured perhaps if we do it together, it might work. And of course, it did work, but I'm still putting in far more time than I anticipated. When we decided that, I mean, I'm near full time working on AEPHIA. So and as a part of that, I keep myself updated on everything Star Atlas. So yeah, was not the intent from the outset, but we got there anyway.
That's also something. If I would get into a guild, I want to like help them, and then it would even be more time lost in my life. So yeah, I feel you. Like even like I'm talking a lot with Benny and stuff, and he has a guild, and it's a lot of work. So yeah. But
it is right, but it's really a responsibility you take upon yourself, because you have to make sure people are joining you. They're expecting something, right? So I mean, it also is energy. Fortunately, it energizes me as well to actually get stuff done for them. But it's a responsibility, and you should not take that lightly.
And the cool thing is like AEPHIA, like all the knowledge you're collecting and all the cool people in there. So yeah, I expect great things. Cool. Even if I'm Ustor, but yeah. Okay.
We have Ustor. Perhaps I am Ustor. You don't know, man.
Yeah, it's too much politics for here, I guess. Like with the multi-faction and stuff. Another time. Okay. Now, total change of topic. Music. Do you like music? What kind of music do you like? Like, it's more about yourself.
So you can be. I mean, I'm not a super big music fan like many others. I didn't really frequent concerts and that kind of stuff. I don't have an actual favorite band. I just like dance, electronic, club music. I did always like to go to clubs and to festivals that are more dance, electronic. We have, I mean, in the Netherlands, we have a whole bunch of pretty awesome DJs, and I just really love to listen to their sets. And
any club in Vienna where I can find you? Like you go out in Vienna? No,
I've never gone to a club in Vienna. I know there is one in the center. I think it's called V or something in the park. Or no, I'm mixing stuff up now with Graz. Sorry.
Doesn't matter. Like
anyway, it doesn't matter. But no, I haven't been to any yet. So no.
Cool. Yeah.
This is back in the day.
Any favorite song, like when you hear it, like you remember something like a special song, something like that, or special artist?
Oh, I think there's a song from Booker Shade. I kind of now the name eludes me, that I really love. It's a really mellow, more loungy song.
If you can remember now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. So I'm music is, I like to, it's background music for me always. I really yeah.
Okay. So from the music, I think, to the movies. Yeah. What's your? I hope you're a sci-fi fan. So what's your favorite movie? You can say top 3, top 5. I know there's a lot of good movies. So.
Well, I mean, so the very first time I saw The Matrix in 1999 in the cinema, not knowing what I was going to look at, because I think it was a sneak preview, I was so blown away. It has since that experience has never occurred after. So I always stick to The Matrix as my favorite movie. I just love the idea. I mean, it really fits also very well, of course, to what we are doing here, right? The metaverse, and I mean, small sidestep, but I love sci-fi books. I love write all the metaverse books from William Gibson, Neuromancer, Snow Crash, also Ready Player One, of course. So the Matrix super resonated with me because it's basically a variant of that, and just where the humans were not aware. But I love that one. And also, I think I have to a special shout out to Terminator 2. Because that was the first movie my parents ever allowed me to rent for my 12th birthday, and it was like a huge ordeal which one I should take, and I love that's also just good memories. But I try to watch all science fiction movies that exist. I mean, to be honest, primarily the English-speaking ones. Though, I mean, primarily I do check other ones if I learn about them, but. I mean, Star Wars, the Star Trek, Inception, Interstellar. I mean, you can go any which way. I love that stuff. Yeah.
Me too. And Neuromancer, I think, is also one of them.
Yes.
If it's probably the most favorite, my most favorite book of all time. Yeah, I love that. I should add books to the list here.
Yeah, you should because I write.
Yeah, and like you run out of movies, you know, because I watch all of the sci-fi stuff, and at some point you watched everything twice, and then you need to go to the books, you know. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's a good thing we nowadays have also more series like Westworld, which I also really think is super cool. So yeah. Anyway,
it's a lot of good stuff coming. Yeah. Cool. So movies out of the way. What we got next? I can't even remember. It's about the food. Yeah, the food. The food. The food. Like
I have to not check all of your videos. But I did check a few, and I did notice that my answers are not going to be that unique. I love lasagna.
Lasagna is
always have. But I also noticed people who mentioned pancakes, and I love pancakes. Another pancake lover, yes. I mean, I will also do a special shout out to the Kaiserschmarrn in Austria, right? When I am there, I always eat that for sure, 100%. So, and in the Netherlands, we have a very small variant that's called poffertjes. This is like tiny sugar, and that's also how I eat my Kaiserschmarrn, though without the butter because that's not something they have, but with only sugar. Kaiserschmarrn with just sugar. Yeah. I mean, the Netherlands is a bit renowned for its sweet tooths, or we put sugar in everything apparently. So, and that's one of the things I like in Austria. Everything is not sweet enough, but pancakes for that reason. Yeah.
I know it like with sugar as well. Like in Germany, we call them East Germany, we call them Plinsen or Pfannkuchen, and they have different names everywhere. But just sugar is fine. Like.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff. I also love, I mean, just to go last, spicy Thai food is also really high on my list.
Oh, okay. Thai. Yeah, I'm Asian.
I visited Thailand a few times, but I just like, I mean, also Indonesian, the whole Asian cuisine, but also the spicier curries, and I like that a lot.
Cool. So we got the food out of the way. Now, we started already before. How did you?
Yeah, but I can pick up where I left off. Yeah. So after Axie Infinity, I was looking around. I watched videos and whatever, and at some point I threw a few other games like Guild of Guardians and Miranda's, which I also definitely looked at. I think at some point I saw Kagi. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it was Kagi at the time with a video on Star Atlas, and I was. I mean, somehow that eluded me, right? I mean, science fiction and to that level that Star Atlas wants to do. I mean, that is just mind-blowing crazy. So I jumped right in. It was right before Rebirth kicked off. So I got into Rebirth right away. And yeah, so I think I have to thank Kagi, like many others I've heard. So that guy's doing an awesome job. Thanks, mate.
Cool. And next one. What got you hooked? Why are you still here? Like sci-fi and
war? Yeah, the grand vision, right? I mean, as I mentioned, I mean the books like Neuromancer, Snow Crash, Ready Player One, movies like The Matrix. I mean, so when I was very young, and I said my parents were a bit more conservative with my PC consumption, whatnot, there was a game called Ultima Online. And back in the day, I wasn't allowed to play that. I'm not entirely sure why. Probably because I would have used the telephone line too much, right, or something like that. I can't really remember why not. But
it was expensive.
I read everything about that game because it intrigued me to no end. And of course, by the time I had my own computer and my whatever. World of Warcraft more or less came out, and I jumped into that as a variant. But I really love massive multiplayer online games, especially if roleplay is a component. I really love grand strategy games. The recent games I played, over the last 5 years, let's say, is primarily Civilization 5, Civilization 6, and Stellaris. So this fits right into what Stratos is doing. But just also the whole notion. I've been a huge the name now eludes me. Star Citizen fan. I've monitored that game for the first 3, 4, 5 years, I think. Like, consumed everything they had. Also, still have a bunch of ships there. I'd never played with them, but I still have them. This all combined it, right? It just combined everything I care about, literally. So this is just the dream come true. This is everything I like, being able to live and even work within a game. We'll have to see to which extent that actually, right? But the notion is there, and it's up to us to make it happen. So I really love that.
It's most of us. The combination of all this, sometimes it's like I'm a little bit scared. Can they do it? Because it is basically the best of all movies and games I consumed the past 20 years.
It is the dream.
Yeah, it's
literally.
The dream. Yeah. So
right. So I actually am not so much afraid that they can't do it. But I do see. If people looked at actually Infinity, for example, and that now crashed a little bit, right? It's very difficult to make. Nobody, I think, succeeded in making a game where you could actually earn your keep sustainably over a longer period of time. For the lower income countries, of course, you reach that border, that threshold faster. But can you sustain that? And I'm not entirely yet convinced that it is super sustainable. But so I don't really think. I don't expect. Let me say like that. I don't expect that I will be able to stop doing everything I do and just earn Star Atlas. But let's see. They did everything right so far. I can see from my perspective to get there. But and I hope they can. It will be really awesome. But I would also be happy if they cannot, and I just earn a little extra on the side.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Always a little bit skeptic, and every game with coins, and every NFT project I know, it starts and you have the coins, and then it's going down, because people cashing out. That's the way it is. So
we're still learning so much, right?
I see it like you with the Star Citizen. I have my ships. I probably never sell them, and I want to play with them. That's the main goal. And if we get some kind of economy, I always say, like, it's not about the emissions, like for the next 7 years or something. It's about they have to create the game in that way so we can make a business in it, like something like
as I say, it's really
Explorer, a TV station, or tricks with the hologram.
They provide the environment, right? They create the opportunities, but we have to grab them and make it and bring us
there. Other
there,
companies come in, like a McDonald's on a space station or whatever. The business, like, it's not about earning from the emissions. It's about earning from something you create within the metaverse. So I hope we can get this far. Like, the emissions probably help to a certain point, but at some point it's on us, like, to create the business in the game, or in the metaverse. So
absolutely.
Cool. Question number 9 already. It's the most important question of them all.
Always, yes.
What's your favorite chip? Can I ask what was your first chip and then the favorite one?
The first, I bought the first chip that came out. So was it the PSX 5 or X4? I think the X4 was the very first chip that came out. So I bought the first few ships that, the first few ships that were sold. So yeah, but I mean, those are not my favorites. I mean, my favorite ship is the Visus Ballad, which I actually don't own.
Oof. Not a
That's
ballad
because
boy.
yeah, I know. I mean, but that's because I spend so much time not paying attention to crypto markets. I'm not really trading much. I just don't have the time for that. So I put all my money in the first GAO wave. So I have all my ships, but I'm also kind of locked with my money. I mean, everything is going down, so it's not easy to get any money from any other venture I put money into. And I kind of promised myself not to put more fiat in this year. So I mean, I already broke it a little bit, but even though it was super cheap, I mean, relatively speaking, cheap. It was still quite expensive, of course. It was, but it might happen. I'm not saying it will never happen, but or else I will just create one. Right? That's still the goal of AEPHIA anyway. So.
It's a lot of hope for me now with all the releases that we at least can stabilize, and then maybe if Scream comes out, that we get a big boost on players like who actually want to play the game and stuff. So we will see if we can get there. And then by the time the ballad's probably more expensive again, but right now it looks so juicy, you know. And I'm the same as you. I don't want to put more money in, but then you see like I'm on the smaller budget,
this is
like you see a G for $180 or an Ohm for $450 or $500. You think, oh my God, I always wanted that chip, you know, and now maybe should I?
I mean, to be honest, if the ballad would have stayed at its VWAP price, then I would never have considered it. But now that it went so low, it was suddenly like, okay, interesting.
Juicy.
Yeah.
But we have to wait it out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I love for sure. I mean, I hope like you, I hope that things will stabilize with the upcoming 4-6 event and the releases. But I'm pretty sure there will be at least temporary dips coming in the future as well. So let's see what happens. But I think what's more stabilizing also is that the air bikes and the ballads are now sold out. I mean, the lowest tranches. I think it also really kicked the economy up a little bit. Ships got a little bit pricier again. So yeah, let's see where it goes.
Very interesting. And now even maybe a referral system, maybe that's a good move, you know, like trying to get more people in. But yeah, it's gonna be
this is
tough.
super funny. Yeah, we always said, I mean, we already got all our friends in here. So, but I mean, right, so this is not actually perhaps benefiting the OGs, but it will definitely benefit Star Atlas with getting more eyeballs here. So it's still a good thing that they're doing that, 100%.
True, like I tried to convince all my friends. I never could convince them, but yeah, we will see.
No, and the referral system is not going to help convincing them.
No.
So it might help you put more energy into convincing them, but let's see. No, it's also a thing, right? Because it's always do your own research. I mean, if it's any other Web2 or let's say non-blockchain game, then you can just recommend the game, say this is awesome and I love it, and check it out and watch a video and go play. But since there's money involved here, you have to first invest, buy something. I'm also not pushing people, right? Because if it goes somehow wrong, I mean, if you compare to last year when the hype was strong and now, I got a few friends in and they are underwater, let's say, like a lot of people are. So it's also a little bit more difficult to just go out there and spread the gospel. I mean, I do, but I always take care not to push people too hard or get too enthusiastic on them. They have to also do their own research.
Still far too complicated. I don't know how much the new marketplace will help, but like the onboarding is just too tough for many people. Like
the marketplace will absolutely. I mean, I 100% believe that was going to help because it just resembles more an auction house concept, and there's less steps. So
no, but it's still like the exchange. Transfer money from the bank account to the exchange. Send it to the wallet, and then start the Atlas thing and swap properly to Atlas or USDC, and you need Solana.
I mean, there are initiatives being deployed the whole time. Fortunately, people are working on that nonstop to make that barrier of entry lower. So this marketplace is something that the team could do. Everything else is primarily something that other parties will hopefully do and introduce to the chain and to the onboarding process. But I'm pretty sure we'll get there, but not today. But yeah.
Actually, and
steps
something else.
are being made.
What do you think about somebody brought up the question? Do you think Star Atlas is maybe a niche also? Like, if you look at the space games, you look at Elite and Star Citizen and EVE Online. Is it the real the for everybody? Or
Yeah, that's a good question, right? That's a good question. And no, because sci-fi is, I guess, a niche, right?
it's popular, but it's not like the.
It's popular, but I'm not entirely. I actually never looked into that, but if you look at World of Warcraft, I kind of got the and Lord of the Rings and that kind of stuff. I kind of get the impression fantasy is a bit of a bigger audience than sci-fi. I mean, the Star Deep Space sci-fi. But I'm not sure. So it could absolutely be more of a niche. But I think it's a super smart one because they can really upgrade over time, right? They have multiple planets. I mean, if you World of Warcraft, there was one planet, there's several islands and whatnot. I mean, they managed to add more territory. But if you're really going to own it, to scale that, I think it's super smart that they chose space. It's also easier to render. There's a lot of empty space in space. So, I mean, I think it's a super smart entry point.
Yeah, it fits the technology and the crypto thing. Also,
it's a very smart entry point. I know Miranda's is doing right. Of course, the fantasy World of Warcraft kind of thing. But if you look at their aesthetic, which is something people might like and not like, but I think something like that mimics more what Stratus is trying to do will just come a bit later because it just requires a bit more the technology to evolve a bit further and more lessons to be learned already.
That's a good thing about the metaverse, like at some point you can bring in things maybe more mainstream and like suited to special markets like the Asian market. It's also I wanted to do an Asian special for such a long time because I think we kind of missing something there. Like they have to approach games different, than Europeans or North Americans and. Like if you look, like
that's true, but they also have like huge, but they also have their own huge game development studios, right? So I kind of assume they're already working on something that we just don't know of because it stays more in.
That's why I mean, like Star Atlas maybe has to look a little bit deeper into that, and it's an interesting topic. But it's a topic for another interview, maybe.
For sure.
Cool, and. Now about AEPHIA and the future plans and the business and I don't know what's your plans, what's your goals, what you're trying to achieve. You're gonna be the biggest guild ever. You're gonna be the richest player in Star Atlas. What's your plan?
Neither.
What's ambition?
No, so I mean, since I started AEPHIA together with Prometheus, I mean, my personal vision, of course, changed. Now it's the primary focus to make AEPHIA a grand success. And that is explained by or defined by our members being happy with what we're doing, right? And our members being happy to join us and that there's a healthy inflow of people and that everybody's having a good time and hopefully manages to pad their earnings a bit by mechanisms we introduce. So this is really my primary focus. As a guild founder, leader, you want just your team to succeed, right? You want everybody to succeed, and so that is really my primary focus. My own personal goal, or what I would like to do personally, I love exploration, and I also really love that whole building out, like setting up the industry, the facilities, the freight lines, and whatever. That's also just something, right? Civilization, SimCity kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff as well. But for me, it's really to make AEPHIA successful. And it's not about becoming the biggest. Actually, I mean, there will always be a guild the biggest. That is fine, as long as no one guild dominates all others, because that is something that we definitely don't want to see. It's also not about becoming the richest. I mean, a player at least. I mean, the richest guild. Yeah, that sounds good. Potentially, right?
Yeah,
again, the idea is we want to increase our members the fun and their earnings. That's basically what we set out to do. So if we succeed in that, I'm super happy, and that's super. That's the goal.
I think you're in a good way. So, because information is the key, and then if you gather all the information and you have a good player base, like active people, then like you have good chance to be successful.
So information is key. So that's why we're on top of that.
We have to start a wiki. You know, it's like right now it's also going back to the Discord. Yeah, but we have like convince people to put effort in it, because right now, you know, with the referral systems, and I'm posting a lot of links, for example, you know, but the discussion is now, should we be allowed to put our links in there? Like, I'm using AEPHIA, Red Spatula, Heimdall, some other guys side, and Tree, and I try to mix it up, you know, but in the end, you know, when there's referral going on, what do we allow, what do we not allow? Then maybe somebody makes an help site and he puts a scam on it, and then I send the scam to the newcomers, and they get, it could be a really disaster. So right now, it's like, should we not allow any links, you know, what we do? And so that's why I think we have to put more effort in the wiki. We need something official, you know, where many people can work together, and where we know the information is true and right, and like controlled by each other, you know, more decentralized. So I hope we can.
I would love nothing more than make people enthusiastic to contribute to the wiki. I mean, I think that's one of the first things we set up and launched. And so far it has been primarily 2-3 people, which are all from AEPHIA.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, and some people register.
I have an account, and I always think, you know how it is. Always something better to do, you know. And it's kind of, yeah. I thought about, like, I think in December or something, when we still had the suggestion, maybe the team could do something, you know, like the top 10 contributors every month get some Atlas or something, you know, or like some awesome. We need initiative like it, but it's otherwise, like, people won't do it, you know, because right now, even with the referral, of course, everybody wants its own site and wants to newcomers link to their site and then click the referral link. I don't know how it's going to work, but I think something like that, you know. And then it's like everybody is working on his own, you know. And I hope we can do something.
And that's absolutely true. So the first thing we did was a wiki, and then a few months after, where we saw that it was very difficult to get it from the ground. I mean, I put most of the time in so far easily, but at some point we also figured that we didn't want to brand it, so there's no AEPHIA logo, nothing. It's for the community, right? It's from the very first moment, the intent was this is for the community. But at some point we realized we also want to do some of our own branding, and so we nowadays do much more news and articles.
It's fantastic. I love it. Like,
AEPHIA branded, and we'll continue to do that because we are, we built a reputation now for ourselves for sharing that kind of stuff. So, but it would be really awesome, and it's just this again also in the wiki, but it is still close to my heart, and I it's just priority-wise, it's a bit lower than it was.
Same for me.
I would love to put more time into that again. I mean, the whole GAO wave 2 is not there yet. And,
every game I know has a fantastic wiki, like basically, or even 2 or 3 sometimes, you know. So I think.
Yeah. Oh, and we're not going to abandon it for sure. It's just if it depends on us, it'll just take a little bit more time.
No, I don't want. I'm not saying AEPHIA has to do it. We need more people.
No, I'm aware. I just want to say we're not going to let it die. So. But it would be awesome if all the people also, I know we had Darwin at some point, well, perhaps I shouldn't call him out because he was helping until he became moderator, and like you, he just lacked the time. He also set up or translated the whole bunch to French. So some people definitely put in time and helped. It would be really great if people would feel like doing that, but of course it does cost time, and it might indeed not give you enough credits, or that's not super visible. So people of course love to get recognized for their contribution, so the wiki is not optimal for that. But perhaps we can also do something with the wiki, have a page for top 10 contributions or something. I should probably look into that at some point.
We see,
but then
because I think with the referral system coming up, we're gonna run into the problems, like with some stuff on the Discord and the links, and like everybody puts, and like, for example, I do it just like I have my link list, and newcomer comes, I give him a little tour and put the links in there. I don't really think about it, like, should I prefer this guild or that guild? But at some point, somebody will complain, then he will say, why are you putting the AEPHIA links in there? And why are you putting this link in there, I'm probably soon. So, yeah, I hope we can come up with something.
Let's see. I'm not aware. I mean, perhaps that is something stupid to say, but I'm not aware. I think the things that we are writing about, at the very least, is not something I have seen other guilds do. But at some point, that might for sure happen, and I hope so, because information sharing with the community is just super good, right? Rising tide lifts all spaceships. So
it's not much now. We only have Score and maybe now the DAO and the new marketplace, but at some point in Scream, there's going to be so much information needed for the newcomers. We got some good content creators who do some tutorial videos, but we will see. Okay, and sorry that the discussion went somewhere else.
No, I like it, mate. I like it to go on.
Okay. Did you? Yeah, you basically said everything about AEPHIA and the future and the plans, right? So we can go to the last question. Like, last question would be anything you want to add, like anything you want to let the people. Shout outs to all your.
Well, a shout out to all AEPHIANs, of course, and to Prometheus, my co-founder.
He's an amazing guy. I never talked much to him because I came late in Discord. Maybe like when I start being active December, but he's one of the OGs, so I need to get in contact with him.
He was here before I was here. Yeah.
I have to do an interview at some point with him probably, and I liked his Usto or his avatar in the other interview.
Yeah.
I love that shit. Like, very cool. Shout out.
Yeah, he prefers to remain anonymous, which is of course perfectly fine. But since I was now showing my head, we figured it makes sense if he also has something at least that is not like a static image.
It's weird at the beginning, you think like, oh, now my face on YouTube, but this interview series is so small, it's only a few people seeing it anyway, so don't worry about it. In 10 years, I always see the time capsule thing, in 10 years we look back and see, there was Funcracker when in the beginning of Atlas, it's kind of funny in that sense, but yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed on this video my face is super shiny, but that's probably because I went for a swim right before. That always makes, I don't know, I didn't realize that.
I can put some effect on it, or I can.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just now realized that, but it's okay.
Yeah. Anything else to add? But anything else?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no. So, well, shout out to you, mate. As I mentioned before, I really love that you are doing this, and it's really great to see communities stepping up to put in the time to make these kind of videos, interview the various community members, either the more well-known and the lesser known. Just anything anybody does to just help the community and produce content, I think deserves huge credits and compliments. So shout out to you. And to everybody else who's making videos. I mean, I know Metaverse Explorer we mentioned early on, but Atlas Theory, of course, and Tony. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people doing this stuff. Dowcafter, and of course the team members themselves. I mean, I love this. We had a rough ride. There were a few bumps in the road, but I'm still here. I still super equally enthusiastic as before. So I love to see where we're going, and thanks just to everybody who's contributing in one way or another.
Cool. Perfect words, and the same for me. Like everybody who's doing content, team, everyone involved, AEPHIA, all the guys. I wish you all the best, and thanks for doing this. And fly safe. And
thank you very much. You too, mate. It was a pleasure to be here with you today. So
it was very nice talking to you.
Please keep it going. Please keep it going.
I hope so. Cool. Thanks a lot, and bye. Have a good one.
All right, mate. Bye.